Humanity, you exhaust me. Hi everybody, this is Spider32 back with another video. First, first I'm going to get into yes, I wanted to show you a video regarding victim mentality. It's from a very, very old video, like a couple of years ago. But first, here's an update. Before I get into all this, I want to give an update. I will be placing all of my videos. So, and also, I'm going to be placing all my videos on BitChute Instead, I'll be putting all of my videos within the next week or so, all on Rumble. Well, because Rumble's a little bit easier. I'm so sick of this. Like I said, I mean, we putting all of my videos on Rumble. So if anybody wants to view my content, go to Rumble, because fuck YouTube. I recently tried to appeal that the video I tried to appeal, the video that they took down. I tried to appeal it, and my appeal was denied. It's basically a huge fuck you to my face. So at this point, I really don't give a shit. So if you want all my content, go to Rumble. With that being said, let us get into our topic of today. It's just another day. Just another day in the life of bullshittery.
A popular conversation in the United States is, why do so many people relish victimhood? Why is victim status so sought by so many people? It's really simple. If you're a victim, you get rewarded. But even setting that aside, if there were no rewards, they'd still do it, because if you're a victim, not only are you rewarded, set it aside, you're not being punished. And we have a corrupt as hell culture when it comes to punishment. Here in California, the federal Supreme Court, the highest judiciary body in the land, interpreting the most fundamental legislative document, the Constitution, determined that California jails and prisons are illegal. They're unconstitutional, which means illegal by the most fundamental laws of the land. And yet, nothing has changed. That's the kind of punishment. And to say they're illegal isn't just they're illegal, let's move on. It means that the people that work there allow the prisoners to have gang wars, they encourage them, race wars. People are in an unsafe environment. You get tormented, raped, tortured. This is the kind of punishment that goes on every single day. It's very common. In fact, George Carlin, famous comedian, dead now, said something to the effect of, society works like this. There's the really rich, they own everything. There's the working people, they do all the work, they get very little money. But then there's the poor people and the people in jail that serve just to scare the shit out of the middle class people to keep them obedient. And that was told as a joke because in our culture you can't really just preach to people because, oh man, don't preach. So it has to be a joke, but that's absolutely the case. We have rich people, we have people that aren't rich, and we have the people scaring these people that aren't rich to keep moving and to stay satisfied that at least they're not the poor people. So again, this is why people want to be victims, is because if you're a victim, then no one can justify that. It's just what's built into our culture now. No one can justify punishing you. The last thing you want to be in this culture is punished. For example, if you get caught selling drugs, teenager, 13-year-old could get caught selling drugs. You go to juvenile hall, maybe you get on your record that you sell drugs. You won't be able to get financial aid for college. So maybe you're in a situation where you think, people still have responsibility for their actions, but you think that's a good route to take. You're young and you're stupid, you do it. You can't recover from that in this culture. No, I saw this example of where you cannot recover. Some weird example recovered. You cannot. Once you have the scarlet letter of anything, then you can just be passed over like nothing. You will be forced, as for example, a former drug seller, you'll be forced to work with other drug sellers, doing something like working at a thrift store or something for government. You will get your government aid. People hate poor people getting government aid. They have to work a crazy amount for that, something you weren't told. There's new statutes saying you have to work for any welfare that you get. And so they have to work around a bunch of other welfare recipients, plenty of them on drugs or had sold drugs, more or less unemployable. They all work together at a business or two that's way overstaffed. And the figure, when I did a story on this here in El Cajon, the figure is you work 80 hours a month, which is, let me break that down for a week, 20 hours a week. So it's part-time, but you work 80 hours a month for $200. And what that does is that teaches you not to value your time. And no one who doesn't value their time will ever make it in this culture, because you have to be very careful with your time to make it in this insane, fast-paced culture. But again, these are the victims. If they can get that victim status and get the $200 to work around other drug dealers. But otherwise, if you're not a victim, if you can't prove that you shouldn't be punished, you will be punished and you will not recover from it. For example, just recently, a guy got out of jail after 5 years in prison, found out he didn't rape the girl. He was exonerated after 5 years. Will she go to jail? Probably not. She has kids. Will she even have to give back the money that she was rewarded for her troubles? Probably not. Will he lead a normal life? Not really, because he was on track to be a professional football player, and he's probably going to have a few years of relief, like, well, this is so good. Maybe he'll turn something out of this, hopefully, but he might just die a very angry, bitter person for all the unfairness that he was treated. But even this person aside, this huge high-profile case here in California of the person exonerated for rape after 5 years in prison, him aside,
How you doing?
all of the other people falsely accused. You never hear of false accusations. It's like no woman ever accused a man of rape falsely. If you look into false accusations, you'll be unpleasantly disgusted how often it happens. You don't hear about it because it's not made a crime. You would only hear about it if charges were filed and somebody cared. But instead, it typically goes like this. The person accuses, and it just is found to be nothing, and they go, you know what, you better knock that off, and it just nothing. But even rape aside, just any little thing. For example, we have a culture, like here in El Cajon, people are really racist towards blacks. Not just white people, settle down. Chaldeans are racist towards blacks, Christian Iraqis. Muslims are racist towards blacks. Blacks are even racist towards blacks. Mexicans racist towards blacks. Everybody, and everybody's racist towards each other too. But there's a driving while black thing here in El Cajon big time. If you're driving while black, you are very likely to get pulled over. Now, unless you just go, well, I'm just going to not say, hey, what's the deal? If you just sit by docile and accept that, then you'll be fine. If you ask anything, the cops around here are rude as hell, and they will just escalate it. You get in trouble for dealing with the cop, anything but obediently, your life will be ruined forever. And I know several people, black people, Africans, not African Americans, Africans, Nigerian, and I'm thinking of and one person from Ghana, two specific people, but there are several others, but these two specific people it's that typical story. The nicest people you ever want to meet, completely decent, relatively new to the United States, been pulled over constantly ever since they moved into El Cajon, driving while black. They came from really shitty parts of Africa, though, of very shitty parts of their countries. And so it's still a step up for them. But nevertheless, you have to weather all this stuff. And hopefully people eventually will consider you a victim for any mistreatment you've had. Because if you just handle that wrong with the police, with your teachers, anything, if you get blacklisted from education, or if you get blacklisted from employment or housing, it happens all the time, you will be punished in this culture. And again, just one example, we have corrupt as hell cops doing whatever the hell they want here in El Cajon. Over the last 16 years, since 1995, well, 17 years, there were rogue cops going around shoving their nightsticks up black women's pussies. There's prostitutes around this area, and some of them were getting sexually assaulted like that. And it was ongoing. But the specific case that comes to mind, there more than just that happens with the corrupt ass El Cajon PD. But there was one officer particularly who, since '95, they eventually unfolded that he had a pattern of this behavior. This kind of corrupt shit goes on. And we have this illegal prison system in California. So again, I'm just telling you what's here in El Cajon and here in California as far as punishment. If you end up on the street, a black female prostitute, you might have a crooked cop's nightstick up you. If you break any law that sends you to jail in California, you're likely to go to a jail that is unconstitutionally unsafe, dangerous. So keep that in mind anytime, typically it's these American-loving people. It's fine to love America, but it's not fine to love it blindly. These people that say, you know what, you should not want to be a victim. You should want to live off the government, all these things that they equate with victim status. Meanwhile, if you're not fit for military service, a big part of the jobs are already out for you. So you have to be a mindless murderer to qualify for 100% of the jobs. Particularly, and again, here in El Cajon, we are a, I guess, suburb of San Diego. San Diego is a huge military town. Jobs out here filled by a lot of military and ex-military. And if you're not cool with that, you're not obedient to that, you're going to get punished in one way or another. So just keep that in mind next time you rail against people who want to be the victim. Why are you going to play the victim card? Well, because again, we reward victims, but at the very least, even if we didn't, we don't punish victims. And the last thing you want to have happen to you in a corrupt, evil, and unconstitutional culture, whether El Cajon, San Diego, California, or the United States, the last thing you want is to be punished. You want to be a victim instead.
Okay. I hope you managed to. That's gonna do it for me. The Spider 32 meme. I hope you managed to grasp everything that this man said. Even though sometimes I can't necessarily follow any kind of some of the logic that he says. I followed this guy for a few years now, ever since he got booted off YouTube. So some of the logic he says it doesn't really resonate. Some of it doesn't really resonate. even I can understand a man logic sometimes. But if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And Logic Only, I'd like to thank everybody from coming. I'd like to thank the one person that actually came here, Logic Only Song. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. But yeah, I mean, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe if you can. And that's it. See you when I see you, I guess.